Hello again everyone, and welcome to another tutorial on the GTA 5 FiveM multiplayer mod Transport Tycoon. This video is going to be focusing on piloting, and within piloting, passenger piloting. I will do a separate video on cargo pilots, but to begin with, again we need to go to the orange suitcase symbol on the map and select the airline pilot profession from the job center, and then we need to head down to the airport. Now this tutorial is going to be for more accomplished, a bit more veteran players in this, because you do need a bit of capital or money in order to get a plane in the first place. But as we are going to head down to the airport and get our plane out of storage so that we can do an airline route. Okay, so as we head into the airport, we want to head over to this right-hand side entrance in the main section. And we can make our way through here to the airport garage, which is on our left, or to the airport shop, which is up here ahead of us, the white symbol. Now at this symbol, this one here, this is where you can buy aircraft. So if we have a look, we can see how much it costs for the beginning aircraft. So we want passenger planes, and then there's the Vestra. So you need $20,000 to purchase the Vestra. So we will be using that vehicle, but I do actually already have one. So we will just go and pick up my one instead of buying a new one. Okay, so we are going to be using the Vestra. So we need to head over to V. There it is, the Vestra. So this is the plane that you start with. Planes on this game are pretty loud, but I'm sure I'll be able to turn that down in post. So, with airline piloting, even if you have more money than needed to get this plane, you will still only be able to use this plane to begin with, because the vehicles are locked by level. So the Vestra only requires level 1, but obviously if you want anything better than that, you need to get to the correct level for it to begin with. So for now, we are going to head over to on the minimap. You can see there's a picture that looks like a globe with a plane in it. If I make the minimap bigger, that globe airline picture, that is where we need to go in order to get the passengers. Here we go. So you press E to pick up the low class passengers, and then we need to head to a runway and take off. Now this server requires for you to use the air traffic control system for takeoff and landing to let people know where you are. So we're going to head over to head along the taxiway to the runway, and then we can set up the ATC. Okay, so we need to open up the ATC menu, select Los Santos, and then we are taking off from the jet runway. So we've announced that we're taking off from the jet runway, and we can now head off and fly. Now, as you can see, a lot of symbols have appeared on the map. So we need to head to each of those symbols, land, and then drop off the passengers we have and pick up the new ones. Again, I will add in time codes and possibly edits just to make this a bit less tedious to watch. Okay, so as we approach Chumash, we need to select it on the ATC menu and tell where we're going to land. Now, I'm going to say that we're going to land on the main runway, and then we can head in. If you're not sure which runway that is, you can usually look, but unfortunately this one isn't on the map, so it won't allow you to. But the main runway is over here. So we can come into land nice and easy. There we go. And then we can head over to where we need to pick up our customers, which is over here on the globe symbol. We can speed up a bit, no point going too slowly because we don't want to take forever. Here we go, so as we approach this symbol, we can stop on it, and then we can press E to pick up and drop off passengers, and we get money and vouchers. As well as gaining normal XP for doing this flight, you gain vouchers which can be handed in at the town centre to get bonus experience. So now we need to head back to the runway. And then while we're heading over there, we can say that we're going to take off. May have done that a bit early, but it doesn't matter too much. So we're going to get on the runway and then we can take off. Just make sure that we're following the server's guidelines. And now we can head to the next location and do the same thing again. Okay, so now that we're approaching Palito Bay, we can land. There we go, nice and easy. We can head over to the symbol and pick up the passengers again. You have to be careful here because there's a bit of a dip in the terrain that can do some damage to your plane if you're not careful. We can come to a stop and pick up our passengers again. spin the plane round and get back on the runway. Again, be careful with the dip. There we go. We can tell everyone that we're taking off from the jet runway, and off we go. As you can see, this is quite a repetitive task, but it is a good way to build up your experience before you start doing cargo routes in planes. And as time has gone on, they've actually added more and more airports so that it feels a little bit less like you're just doing the same 2 airports every time. Once again, as we approach, we need to let them know where we'll be landing. So we'll be landing on the main runway. You can see the speed on these planes actually drops quite fast, so you need to be careful when you're landing. And the big cargo planes have very different flight models to these smaller planes, so we'll go over that in the cargo plane tutorial, but you have to be a bit more careful when landing. So now that we have landed, we can go ahead and drive up over here and head over to the place to pick up more passengers. Some of these are a bit of a trek to get to the location, but it needs to be done. Okay, so we can grab these, stop, pick up our passengers, and then we can head off again. Now there may be a runway here that we can use instead actually. The only issue with this is that it is actually sometimes quite confusing to know which runway is which, especially on these modded runways. But if we have a look at the numbering, we should be able to see if there is numbering on this runway, which there isn't, unless it's 11, which there isn't an 11, so there isn't any numbering here, which means that this may well be the jet runway. It is, so there we go. We can therefore take off from here and start heading to the next location. Okay, heading into Pacific Ocean now. We want to land on the main runway, which is the left. That's a bit confusing because all the other ones have been the right runway being main. Again, that's an issue with modded airports, you have to be careful. If we slow down in time, we can actually turn here. Looks like we can. There we go. And now we can head over, pick up the passengers again. Maybe a bump there, be careful. Here we go. Stop, pick up our passengers, get more pilot money and vouchers. And then we can start heading off again. So now we know that the closer runway is the side runway, so we can say that we're going to be taking off from the side. Then we can turn, get on the runway and head off. Right, we are now approaching the Alamo Sea Airport, so we can get ready to announce to ATC that we are landing. And there we go. Start heading in. Again, the planes slow down very quickly, so you can keep on the power for a while before you come off. And nice and easy. There we go. Pull over and grab our passengers. Now again, with these small maneuverable planes, you can sort of take liberties like this a bit, but when you get to the big cargo planes, you really have to be careful and follow the taxiways, because they are very large and very sluggish. But like with this plane, we can sort of easily swing it round, get to here. There we go, we can pick up more passengers. And now we can head to our final destination. In fact, this is the jet runway, so we will just say that we are taking off from the jet runway. There we go, easy peasy. Okay, so we're coming into Zancudo now, so let's do a bit of a loop just to get lined up better. We're going to be landing on the main runway. And we can come round and in nicely. Oh, here we go. There we are, nice and gentle. Perfect. And then we can drop off our final passengers, and that will complete this route. So as you have been seeing, when I drop off the passengers, it will say low class passengers. That is because of the level of the plane. As you level up your plane, you will get access to more high quality passengers, which will then pay more. And there we go. So we have completed the route, so we got our money for our dropping off people, and we also got a bonus for completing the route, as well as a bonus passenger for bonus voucher for completing the route. And that is how you do a airline passenger mission. As I say, this will help you level up your airline pilot, and then once you get to a high enough level to buy a cargo plane, you will be able to start doing the cargo missions. But I will be doing that in a separate video. Please leave a like if you found this useful, and subscribe for more tutorial videos in the future.